Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe-tapping, hand-clapping, down-home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man Jerome with me.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, Jerome got them colors lighting us up today, ain't
It's been a minute, man. And you know, it's African American History Month.
Yeah.
Black History Month.
You got it light, man. I like that.
Excited about it too, man.
I love that, man. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been on.
For sure, Daryl.
You know, y'all brought the ice storm to try to keep me in the house a little bit. So we got to say, if you got Facebook Live, you got questions, we'll answer them. And in fact, we got some questions somebody have left on the show. And that's a good thing. If you got anything like Facebook Live or YouTube or any of those things, or you can go one of these network channels, you can actually type in a question and we'll get that question and we'll answer it on the live on the show for you. So, and we're going to do that today. We got
in
one.
Real time.
In real time.
Great.
And the other thing, if you got Facebook, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, or the SVP TV network app, you can also, open those things up and we can do it live too.
Yes.
You can watch us live, call in and ask questions at any point.
Yes.
And my superstar, Ms. Angel, she's gonna put the number up there for us so we can make sure we get you squared away. We need to say shout outs to California, man. My son's still out there kicking the sun.
Oh my goodness.
And shout outs to
skateboarding, beach walking, man.
Whoa. Dogs doodling on the ground. On sand, yeah.
Because I was stationed at Balboa Hospital. It's in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, right across from the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
All that stuff was going on, man. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a San Diego story at some point.
Okay.
Because we went there, my wife and I went there earlier this year.
Really?
Yeah, first time. We need to say shout outs to Little Rock, Arkansas.
That's right.
Shout outs to West Memphis, Arkansas. Shout out to Shelby County, Memphis. Shout out to Mississippi. And Mom, shout out to the great state of Missouri.
All right.
So today what we're going to talk about, and we're going to stay specific here in Tennessee, and then we're going to talk about the General Sessions or the Judge Judy Court, the Small Claims Court.
Or the Joe Brown.
Or the Joe Brown Court. Or the Judge Mathis Court.
Judge Mathis, yeah. Except for Judge Judy. Now, Judge Judy doesn't play. Period. You might get all kinds of name callings in Judge Judy's court.
Well, and contrary to popular belief, and Judge Donald was notorious for letting people know, Shelby County or Tennessee doesn't have a small claims court.
Yes.
General Sessions is their court. And the reason why we let it become something close to small claims is because it's not a court of record. A lot of lawyers consider it to be practicing court. Mm-hmm. And the reason why you say it's the practicing court is in General Sessions, if you don't like the ruling of the judge, you can appeal.
99.9%.
99.9% of the time.
Yes.
And we're going to tell you about that 1% of the time where you can appeal, but there's some stipulations on it, and if you don't comply with those stipulations, it is bad for the home team.
That's exactly right.
So, in General Sessions, it's the do-over. I mean, you try your case, and if you're a lawyer, you try your case, and you screw it up bad. or you so mad at the judge they can light a cigarette on your face.
Or like I told you once before, Daryl, when I was growing up, they had a comedian called Pig Meat Markham. He would always say, come in and say, everybody gonna get some time today. Because he just had a bad night or something like that. And so if the judge is not in the best of moods
Right.
or something like that, don't worry, don't get upset, let him rule, and then just go across the hallway.
And go across the hallway and appeal it. Yeah. And that's, there are some pros and cons to that.
Yeah.
So 90% of the time, I will not file a case in General Sessions. And you already know that.
I already know that, Daryl. Yeah.
I will not file a case in General Sessions Court. There are cases that I have filed in General Sessions Court, but I do not normally want to file them there.
Mm-hmm.
And my reasoning behind that is, just like I just told you, you're going to get another chance.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the ruling that somebody makes, or one of the judges make in General Sessions, whoever does not like that ruling can request a do-over.
That's right.
And so now what my problem is that I'm going to give a lawyer a shot at my client testimony in General Sessions. Then if we appeal it upstairs, then they're going to do my client's deposition. That is a second shot at my client.
Mm-hmm.
And then my client is going to testify on the witness stand. So that defense lawyer or that lawyer has had 3 shots at my client. And if anything of those 3 shots is inconsistent, they will try to make my client out to be a liar. And so, again, I can't keep in my head straight what I ate the day before.
Right.
So I can't imagine how somebody trying to remember what they testified. Now, everybody always say, well, you ain't got to remember the truth because the truth is the truth. But over time, you start to forget things.
That makes sense,
You start to run things together. You're not living this case any longer.
But there, just like the defense will have an opportunity to get a copy of the transcript, the client can get a copy of the transcript too.
Yeah.
And just read the transcript, before the next bite of the apple comes up.
Well, the problem with that is when people read something and they see that they've done bad, good, bad, or indifferent,
They try to
overdo
you know
it.
what, that makes sense.
So that's, again, my rule is to prep my client
Gotcha.
for their testimony or prep my client for their deposition, and it's one shot, one
I
kill.
got you. Okay.
And then that way, I don't have to worry about them, And some people, man, you cannot prepare them. I've had people
Some
come.
people just make terrible witnesses.
Man.
I've heard you say it before, man.
Terrible witnesses.
Said the jury's gonna hate my client.
Man, they don't make bad witnesses; they make terrible witnesses.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had witnesses that I prepared 4 and 5 hours, man, and afterwards I've been like,
Yeah,
wow.
that's a terrible witness. And the jury's gonna hate them.
And I have prepared them from terrible to horrible
Right.
in 4 hours. So,
Yeah.
so Jerome, we got a question today.
Okay.
Now, the question is a little convoluted.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to shorten it up. So what this person said is they did a Facebook purchase, which I didn't know you could do that, but they did a Facebook purchase. And they were purchasing items with somebody on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person gave them some of the material that they purchased and they spent money on, but did not give them all the material.
And there, just another thought. It depends too, because Facebook is nationwide.
Yeah.
You could possibly have someone that's in another city, state. Do you really have jurisdiction over them in order to sue them in Tennessee?
And I'll address that in a minute,
Okay.
but I'm gonna keep on going.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so the person gave them all kinds of excuses of why they can't get the material to them, and they stopped the delivery and all this other stuff. And so, what the person decided to do was file a police report and get the police involved. So the police gets involved, again, that's problematic too.
You see me shaking my head.
I saw that. The police gets involved.
Okay.
And I'm going to use a loose term, for lack of a better word,
Okay.
and threatens the person, and the person's agreed that they're going to pay. And they have started that payment process, and then they only made one small payment and didn't pay anything else.
That's very interesting.
And so now the person's question is, number one, can they get a garnishment against that person? Or what can they really do against that person?
You know, I love this question there because it sounds to me almost like a law school question. Because what you have to do is start spotting what the issues
Yeah.
are. And there are many.
There are many issues. There are many issues. So let's...
Well, another thing there too. So it sounds to me too, I don't know if the police can get involved in a situation such as that. It sounds to me like maybe there was someone who knows a police officer, you follow me, who have made this threat. Because how do you do it? I don't know how you can do that off the top of my head. What do you think?
Off the top of the head, so Jerome is probably right.
Yeah.
The police are not supposed to engage in action that can be construed as a threat.
I think that's absolutely correct. And also, are they able to, it's kind of like, they're not, well, I'm troubled because they're not supposed to get involved unless they actually would experience something, they see it themselves or something like that, then they have a duty to operate. But
I
with
think
someone
that,
just calling them and saying, I did this, and this. and
well,
that,
but I think
that
what
a
can,
warrant?
well, so what happens is, and let me just, so let me be the police for a minute. Let me
Okay.
be the devil's advocate.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So you call me, right,
Mhm.
because Joe Smuck is stealing from me. Joe Smuck said, I'm not stealing. I was purchasing, I'm going to give them the money back, or I'm going to give them the product. I've just been a little off for a minute.
Okay.
And the police said, look, why don't you work this out with them so we don't have to arrest you?
I can see that. I can see that, Daryl.
And that's what,
I can-
let me do that way.
I can
Because
definitely see
if
that.
I have to engage this, I may have to file a police report,
can definitely
and you may end up being arrested as a result of
I
that.
can definitely see that.
So that's one way of doing it. Here, if I'm this person, the most I don't know if it's most expedient, but one way to make sure that a person's going to pay you is with the threat of the criminal justice system.
Daryl, you just said something. To make sure
To make
the person's going to pay you.
to make sure they're gonna pay you. There's only one
Well,
way that
well,
you can make sure.
No, to make sure that they have an obligation.
Nah,
to pay
dog. Nah, dog. I'm saying make sure they pay you.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm gonna explain it to you. later. Okay. So, in Tennessee, they have what they call the hot check statute.
Okay.
It's really not the hot check. It's theft of services, theft of whatever.
Okay, goods or something like
Theft
that.
of goods by
Yeah,
deception,
yeah.
whatever.
I got
But it's
you.
a criminal statute. It's a misdemeanor statute.
Okay.
And the DA can prosecute that.
Okay.
What happens is if you go to Kroger's and write a check and the check bounces,
Okay.
then Kroger, because a check is supposed to be cash.
Mm-hmm.
And if it bounces, that means that you wrote something knowing that there was not money in there to cover it. Okay? So that's a hot check, a bad check.
I'm a little troubled about that statement too.
Well, it's just a statute, because now if you write a check to me and tell me, look, I need you to hold the check, and I agree to hold the check, then you could never prosecute me on that.
Okay.
But if you write me a check for an exchange of goods or exchange of services,
Right.
I take that check, you are giving me cash.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Then if I take that cash and it doesn't turn out to be cash,
Right.
then you have stolen my services or stolen my goods with false money.
Well, you kind of changed the fact just a little bit because initially you said when I gave you the check, I knew was bad
Well, that's what the
because it may not be. It may be that the other check that I deposited did not clear.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
You see what I'm saying?
Because that's what the statute says.
Yes.
If you write me a bad check,
Right.
you're telling me that you have funds to cover the check.
Right. That's right. Okay.
And if you don't have the funds to cover, or if the check bounces, there's an argument that you knew that you didn't have it. So that's the reason why.
I like that better because
Yeah.
there's an argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the statute says to me that I have to give you an opportunity to fix that.
Right.
So under the hot check statute or the theft of services statute,
Gotcha.
I have to send you a certified letter, say, hey, look, you gave me a bad product. You stole something from me inappropriately. I'm going to give you X amount of time to correct this. And if you don't correct this, I'm going to turn it over to the district attorney's office.
Okay. I got you.
Now, if you turn it over to the district attorney's office, they swear an affidavit, arrest a person, and then they bring charges against them. And it's a misdemeanor. 11 months, 29 days. It's a
Right.
misdemeanor.
I get you. Okay.
And the reason why I say you're guaranteed to get paid, because they will put you on probation for 11 months and 29 days. And the only way that you get off at the end is that all of the money that you owed
Cost and
costs.
Yeah, I got you.
And
I got
so
you.
all of the money that you owed
I got
have been paid.
I got you. Okay.
And so that's why I say you can guarantee you're going to get paid. Because nobody's going to stay in jail for 11 months and 29 days for, in this particular case, $1,400.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. on that.
I ain't staying in a jail, you know.
But also, I'm still a little bit concerned about the fact that that the person, in good faith, probably maybe did make the payment, but just like the ice storm when the banks were closed 2 or 3 different days in a row. Man, I just caught hell trying to get into the bank when the snow came because all of the tellers were out. They were not taking deposits. The lines were out the wham.
Hey,
you see what I'm saying?
Hey, man, let me ask you a question. What world are you in, man?
I'm in Tennessee. I'm
Hey,
in Tennessee. Where,
you know why? An Angel laughing.
Right.
You know why she laughing?
Right.
Dog, you know they got this nice thing called the telephone. And
what about it?
man, I don't go to the bank. I take a picture of my check and it goes into the bank.
Well, some of us don't know how to do that, man. You ain't get a deposit on.
My deposit goes this way.
No.
I don't write checks anymore.
What?
Yeah, I
Okay.
pay bills from my
You
phone.
got me on there. But they have tried to get me to get electronic deposits for my checks in bankruptcy court. I am a brother from the old school. I want to feel my money in my pocket. I want my check to be in my hand. I don't trust it. Look, I had my money up under the pillow.
Yeah, you're a mattress brother. You still put your money
My
under the
money
mattress.
under the mattress. But I have seen the sign saying that you could just take a piece of the check.
Yeah. Because what ends up happening is,
I never thought about that.
so, and I'm disclosing a little bit.
Okay.
I bank at Navy Federal.
Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
There's only one Navy Federal in Shelby County.
Okay.
You know where it is, right?
Up there, probably in Millington.
It's in Millington.
Right.
And there is a ATM. It's in off of Covington Pike. I'm sorry, in Covington. I mean, Cordova.
Okay.
You know, up there off of Stage Road.
Okay.
So that's for me.
You would be messed
That's a
up. then.
40-minute drive, dog, one way. So, and I'm going to put a check in
I got
that
you.
I don't even need.
I got you.
I mean,
I got you. Okay.
so that's the
That's a
thing.
good answer, man. Because
Yeah.
I have never tried to deposit a check by taking a picture of it. I wouldn't have a clue as to how to
Oh
do it.
man, and it tells you whether or not they accepted your check or not.
Okay.
It tell you whether or not to check. It tell you, hey man, put it closer to, move it further away. I mean, dog, it is.
Well, I've learned something today. Now, I have noticed that that the tellers, the ATMs don't like money orders,
no, yeah.
even postal money orders.
Yeah, money orders.
What's going on with money orders?
Well, the postal money order are better.
Secure, more
Secure.
Than, yeah, okay.
And And I think
With Walmart.
Walmart does what?
Mapco.
What does Walmart provide? Walmart does Western Union, right? They're a Western Union money
I
order.
think so.
They will take theirs,
But
they won't take
it's-
they won't take that MoneyGram though.
It spits it right back out when you try to use it at the ATM. So I don't know what's going on. with
Yeah,
the money.
yeah, I don't-
But there, that's a good answer. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the way that you.
Okay.
And that's the cheapest way, Jerome.
Gotcha.
It costs you whatever it costs to send a letter certified. That's all it costs you. You send it certified, you know, and when you get the card back, you save a copy of it, and you send it certified. That's as much as it costs you.
That's it.
I mean, it's $2 or some
Hey.
ridiculous number, whatever it is. And, you know, and if that doesn't put the fear in somebody to pay you, they're arrogant, egotistic, and you're never going to get paid from them anyway.
I got you on that one.
Because, I mean, if you threaten to put a criminal charge on somebody's record because they owe you money, and they got that money through deception, they're not gonna act right.
Right.
That's
Right.
because then that means that the second way that you can do is go to General Sessions Court.
Okay.
You can go to General Sessions Court and get a judgment against them, and then you can garnish or levy against their bank account.
So in other words, the court is open for a novice, for someone who has been injured, like you say, to come in and file a lawsuit and be successful in prosecuting that lawsuit? Is that what I just heard you say?
Yeah, yeah. And Jerome is actually right because General Session Court is not a court of record, but it's a court of the rules.
That's exactly right.
And what that means is you have to know the rules of evidence.
Right. Well, you got to even know, well, the clerks can actually assist you in filling out the civil warrant.
Yeah, they'll help you do that.
But who do you sue? Where do you sue them?
Oh, you
How
gotta
do you get it served?
Oh, now they'll give you a process server. You just got to know the address.
Right.
Yeah, they'll provide you with a process server.
And you have to have personal service in order to get a money judgment.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
second
a
one.
lot of stuff going on.
That
in there.
second way is a lot.
Yes.
And here's why a lot of people end up losing that money on the second way. Because you need to be doing it the first way if somebody has manipulated you or stolen money from you in some way. You want to take that first route. You want to use what you pay your taxes for to your benefit,
Right.
which is the criminal justice
Right.
system.
Right.
Because the problem is that second way, it can be more of a nightmare than you can even matter. I mean, what ends up happening is General Sessions, you got to know the rules. So say, for instance, you're suing this guy for $1,400, and he happens to have a lawyer.
But then the good thing about it, though, is you really could file a pauper's oath and file a lawsuit.
You could, you know, it could go. You could do it for free.
So that takes away that cost.
Yeah, but the only way that you can get legal representation on this case is
But
to.
why do I need it? It's only $750.
You need it because the judge is going to take testimony and evidence and all this other
And the
stuff.
other person has a lawyer.
And the other person has a lawyer.
Darrell O'Neal on the other side.
Dog, you
It's
can't.
gonna be over with, huh?
You can't. Hey man, and I hate to say this out loud, and I've said it before. You heard me say it.
You have said it,
I've
yeah.
said it many times.
If you are,
If you are a pro se litigant and you beat me, I will retire that next day. I don't care. If you are a pro se litigant and you beat me in a litigation case, I will retire. Dude, I be doing lawyers.
Right.
You
Right.
know. So if you're a pro se litigant
Right.
and you beat me, I have lost.
It's over with.
I have lost it. My skills have gone
Yeah, I got
to do.
right.
And I'm going to stop practicing. But seriously, Jerome.
But one more thing, I'm sorry, there. But they have created like a pro se court, haven't they?
Not pro se court.
Okay.
They have created, so General Sessions does something that's really, really great.
Yes.
And I don't know if every judge does it. I know Judge Henderson
I
is
think
notorious.
she's the one who
But-
created it.
But they have the mediation court.
Okay.
And what happens is, if you're a pro se litigant, sometimes your case will end up with a 9 o'clock setting on it.
Okay.
And if you get a 9 o'clock setting, they mean they want you to come to court and go to mediation. So the court will set up General Sessions, that mediation process has been, man, that has been a absolute wonderful thing.
I agree.
The problem is when people think they right, they don't have no bend.
Right.
And you can't tell them nothing. So if people think they right and both people are right, you're going to end up in a litigation process, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the question becomes, like, I'm doing a case right now that this case had a value of $2,000. You know,
On the low end. That's
on the low
that's
end.
on the
Low end.
I'm surprised you even there. It must be.
And on the
just
high
doing somebody
end-
a favor, huh?
On the high end, it's got a $6,000 value.
Okay.
Right, on the high end, and you hit it on the head. No, it wasn't a favor. I charged them $1,500 for $2,000 for him to get $2,000 back, and there was no attorney fee provision in that contract.
Okay.
So basically, and I tell you, I said, man, you're gonna pay me $1,500 to
get
get
$2,000?
$2,000. You $500 off of what
It's
you.
the principle involved, man.
Hey, the
How
principal.
many times have you heard that?
Hey, this is what principal costs. This is what principal costs. And then I tried to dissuade them
Right.
from filing it in General Sessions.
Sure.
You know, but they have all of these arenas though, Jerome.
Right.
So General Sessions, so let me give the kudos to General Sessions. Mike Williams. Let me give Mike Williams some kudos
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I agree.
So
Good job.
so here's what General Sessions has. They have the mediation clinic.
Mhm.
Okay, so they have that for you. They have the pro bono clinic that's down there every Thursday.
That's exactly right.
That's in there.
Right.
They provide you access to pro se litigation literature
Mhm.
that will put you on the right track. They will put you in contact with MALS,
That's right.
Memphis Area Legal Services, to help you get some representation. And these are all places that will do these things for free.
That's right.
So these are things that they're offering you to try to resolve them. But let me tell you this. If you have an opportunity, there's two things that people really hold up down in General Sessions. If you have an opportunity to mediate those cases in good faith, and good faith means you have to have some bend. That's what good faith
That's
means.
exactly right.
Good faith means you have to have some bend.
And no one gets everything
No one
that
gets
they
everything.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Important to remember that.
Yeah, so if you get set up for that, you should take advantage of that.
Yes.
The second thing that you should take advantage, if a landlord says to you, all I want is possession and get out, you should take that with both hands too.
But there, of course, I'm always a defendant's lawyer, so they can say that, but then come back later on and sue you for back rent and damages.
If you do it right, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
if you do it right, because the judge is going to put on there, they're going to put on their possession only.
That's okay.
Yeah, the judge will put that on there.
And you can't come back even after the walkthrough and determine whether you got damages or
Now
stuff.
but that's a different issue, Jerome.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So just because they said walk today doesn't mean that
Well-
you're walking forever.
I'm gonna let you out and let you go, and you're not gonna owe me any back rent.
Okay.
But if you tore my place up,
Right.
I should be entitled to get my money for you tearing my
back
place
in,
up.
okay.
That's a different. And even if they got a judgment and get into garnishment,
That's right.
that's your last option. And to me, that is your absolute hardest option, because with that option, you have to be legally prepared to finance something, and is it worth it?
True. And sometimes those process servers are pretty good too about helping you to walk you through some of the landmines, because there are landmines that happen immediately after the judgment occurs.
Yeah, because if you get this judgment and you want to garnish or levy, and levy means that you can actually
That's good.
if you know where somebody banks at, you can actually go to their bank account, send that levy to their bank account, and get every penny that's in their bank right there.
Daryl, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, if they operate a business, you
start-
could go into the business,
start taking out
and
furniture.
get the cash drawer.
Get the cash and the furniture.
And
you,
the
get up,
fur-
you start taking everything.
computers, load them up and
load
do
them
all
up,
that.
cars,
Which-
and all this other stuff.
Which our friend Joe,
Joe is
Joe is
notorious.
notorious for doing that.
Yeah, and then the last thing, if you can't get a a levy, you can get a garnishment if you know where they work.
That's right.
But you got to know where they work in order to get that garnishment.
That's right.
So if you go to court and this person doesn't show up and you get $1,200 from them, you have a hollow judgment because you don't know where they work and you don't know where they bank.
Well, did you get personal service first of all? 'Cause
Oh, no, even if you got personal
show
service.
up.
Yeah, if you got personal service, I'm talking about.
Oh, well, you get a default judgment, won't you?
Collect on what? What are you going to collect on?
Because then you have to do your research after that.
Yeah.
By putting their names into Google. So you start Googling names, right?
But they have no job.
Oh.
They have no bank
Well, why
account.
did you do that in the first place then? If it's
That's the point.
God, you spent all that money.
That's the reason why that first option is the dynamite option to take.
That's right.
Huh? Certified letter.
Yes.
So send that certified letter out.
Return receipt
Return
requested.
receipt. Yeah, yeah. And then if
Because the judges want to, remember, they want to know if you made a demand
no,
to be paid first, don't you?
no. That's just with the DA statute.
I mean, even with a civil statute.
It's not
You
required.
say, I made a demand and did not pay.
That's
It's
not
not required.
Unless it's a contract.
Okay,
Yeah, only unless it's a contract.
I got you there.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for watching the show, and we'll see you back next week. Be safe.
All right.
SVP, SVP TV, we're family for all your needs. SVP, SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP. We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV. SVP, SVP TV.
Looking for something new? We thought so. SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same.
SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP.
Download the SVP. Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why?
We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV. You're talking about a good time shield. When we all come on now.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe tapping, hand clapping, down home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres